Hey, what's good, family? This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. Hope you guys are having a blessed and wonderful day. Today is Hump Day. It's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Thank Allah. We're halfway there. I hope you all have had a blessed and wonderful day. Hope everything things are going good for you for the most part. And then in the likelihood that things aren't, that you're having one of those days, because we're human, that into this life a little rain must fall. Just always remember this: tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. So, last night's debate was in Philly. Um, I tuned in, me and my wife, we tuned in. I'm sure many of y'all did. But the debate was interesting because there were lies told, particularly from Kamala Harris. That lady lied more than a Persian rug, and that's a lot of lying. She and Trump called her out on a lot of things, but I'm gonna get into that here in a second. And so the first question, so it was at Philly, and the moderators was it was on ABC. The moderators were David Muir and Lindsey Davis. Another thing that I'm gonna get into about that is that the debate was a three versus one, meaning it was Kamala Harris, David Muir, Lindsey Davis versus Trump, 3-on-1. But I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. So the first question that was asked because Kamala Harris went first. So the first question that was asked, when it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago? So Kamala Harris goes on to say, I was raised as a middle class kid. Um, the person on this stage has a plan that is lifting up the middle class and working. She said, I am the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I actually have a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. So we never heard this plan before until last night. I haven't heard it before. She goes on to say, we know that young families need support to raise their children. Well, no shit. Excuse me for saying that. And I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time. So to those young families, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. $6,000, okay, lady. With the way inflation is, that ain't gonna even cut it. For a family, she goes on to say, I was actually my mother raised. I was actually my mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her a second mom. She was a small business owner. My plan. Oh, I love our small businesses. My plan is to give $50,000 tax reduction to start up small businesses, knowing that they are part of the backbone of America's economy. I'm a small business. I didn't know about this. She has never said this before. This is new to me. This something that she pulled out of her ass, because she never revealed this until last night. Never ever revealed this till last night. In any of her what a one interview she did, she didn't reveal this. When she was selected as a Democratic nominee, she didn't reveal this. No, not any time in the last month and a half, almost 2 months, that she has been selected to be the Democrats' nominee for president. Um, she goes on to say that my opponent has a plan that I call the Trump sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump's sales tax would actually result for middle class families in about $4,000 more a year because of his policies and what so have you. So she never answered the question. The question was, Let me go back to the question. When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago? Yes or no answer. Trump didn't answer it either. Yes or no answer. No, I do not. Why don't you believe that? X, Y, and Z. Or yes, I do believe it. Well, why do you believe it? X, Y, and Z. Expound on it. Trump killed her on the economy. Trump killed her on the immigration. And Trump killed her on foreign policy. But she did get, I have to give her credit for this. She did get under Trump's skin when she came talking about his rallies. When she talked about his rallies, because that really gets under his skin. When you talk about people who leave his rallies early, I think that's what she said, and talk about the size of his rallies. That really, really, really gets under his skin. So she was able to get under his skin, able to bait him, to rattle him. But I will say that Trump shot back at her, and he was able. I'm glad he went last. I'm so glad that he went last, because he ended with, you haven't done anything in the last 3.5 years on the economy. You and your administration haven't done a damn thing on the economy in the last 3.5 years. You're still in the White House now. Why don't you do something? And mic drop. I'm glad he went last. I give him a B. I give him a solid B for last night. He could have done better. He's a horrible speaker. He deviated from the question. She did too. But I felt that he hammered her on the economy. He hammered her on immigration. He hammered her on these proxy wars. He hammered her on there on those things. Before I continue, hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications of when I do videos on here. So she was able to get under his skin quite a bit. But again, she didn't say anything about policy. She didn't say how she was going to fix the border crisis. She didn't say anything about how she's going to what she's going to do about these proxy wars that we're involved in: Ukraine and Russia, Israel, Hamas, Syria, and Yemen. She didn't say anything about that. She said she met with Zelensky. Big deal. She lied about fracking, because 5 years ago, when she ran for president, she said that she was against fracking. She mentioned her nieces, that it would be detrimental to their future, that we had to protect their environment. Now she's for fracking, so she lied about that. She lied about the abortion ban. Trump never said that he was going to put a ban on abortion. What he said is that they should be left up to the states to decide, which is the 10th Amendment, which is in this document here. The 10th Amendment. That's what he said. Leave it up to the states. He never said that there was going to be a ban on abortions. Never said that. Never, ever said that. She lied about Project 2025. She lied about Trump calling for a bloodbath during January 6, 2021. She lied about that. Lies, lies, lies. She never, ever, ever said anything about this economic plan until yesterday. Notice that she didn't have a fake accent. She didn't have a Detroit around the way girl accent. You better thank a union member. You better thank a union member for this. You better thank a union member for that. You better thank a union member. Thank a union member. She didn't have her Detroit around the way girl accent. She didn't have her old school Atlanta Southern accent. Hey y'all. Hi. Hey y'all. Y'all notice that? She had her presidential accent. But I felt ABC did a horrible job of the debate. Like I said a few minutes ago, it was 3 versus 1. Kamala Harris David Muir, Lindsey Davis versus Donald Trump. Trump brought up immigrants, illegal immigrants in Ohio eating people's pets, people's cats and dogs. Survey says that's true. That is true. It's very true. In the famous words of Kurt Angle. So in Springfield, Ohio, it's maybe I think 45 miles or something west of Columbus. Residents of this town have complained, and there's video of this. You go on YouTube and just Google Springfield, Ohio residents, pets, or whatever, and it'll come up. So just last month, the residents of Springfield, Ohio, had a town hall meeting, and they were voicing their complaints, voicing their concerns about Haitian immigrants there who were killing ducks, cutting the heads off ducks and eating them in the park. There's one lady that said her neighbor complained about her cat missing and found out her cat was strung up on a tree, was being prepared to be eaten. Another lady said there were reports from farmers that their animals had gone missing and were ended up dead, were headless. Were headless. The heads of these dead animals were at a playground where the children play. This is all on video. I'm not making this up. I promise you. This is all on video. These are reports from people in that town. The town again is Springfield, Ohio. It's 45 minutes or so west of Columbus, I believe. But the people in this town had a town hall meeting just last month complaining about the Haitian immigrants, illegal immigrants eating animals. This is what Trump was talking about. David Muir fact checked him and said that that wasn't true. But yet, Kamala Harris got away with her lies. She was not fact checked. Wasn't fact checked once. That's why I say it was 3 versus 1. Also, I found out an hour ago that Lindsey Davis is an AKA. Kamala Harris is an AKA. Coincidence? I don't think so. Lindsey Davis was biased toward not only David Muir, but Lindsey Davis was biased toward Kamala Harris. AKA, I gotta look out for my sister girl. Y'all gotta see the games that they're playing. This is why, and someone, a brother that I follow, alluded to this in his video. He said, this is why the debate should have been on CNN. As biased as CNN is, it would have been better for them to moderate it because it wouldn't have been a 3 versus 1 more so. It wouldn't have been that. You wouldn't have someone who's has a sorority, has ties to Kamala Harris on CNN doing the moderation, being a moderator. I think it should have been on C-SPAN or on a neutral, a more neutral network. You don't really have them these days, but maybe like a PBS, a C-SPAN, where they're not beholden to the Democrats or the Republicans. And it was bad that the people couldn't even attend it. But that was done purposely. That was done by the Kamala Harris campaign team. Nothing about this is democratic. Nothing about it is democratic. Nothing. So, like I said, people had jokes about cats and dogs, that it was made up. All you got to do is do your research. Do the damn research. It took me all about 20 some seconds to research it, to find out it was true, to pull up the clip of this town hall meeting just last month in Springfield, Ohio. So the facts are there. Do the damn research. Stop relying on this, the media, the most effective devil in America. Stop relying on them. Stop relying on entertainers. Entertainers are not leaders. I have another t-shirt in my room that says that. Stop relying on these people. They don't do research. They just regurgitate whatever the media says. I saw that Anna Navarro, it came up on my timeline. She did a video on X where she was trying to break down Trump's lie about the illegal immigrants eating animals. Anna Navarro, that Latina airhead. Y'all go on the credibility of these people. I mean, seriously. But like I said, last night's debate, I felt Trump. He could have done better, so I give him a B. I give him a B. But again, people say Kamala Harris won. Of course they're gonna say that. It was on a liberal-based network by liberal-based moderators, one of whom is an AKA Lindsey Davis. It was 3-on-1. So of course she won the debate. Of course. They're in the same sorority, Lindsey Davis and Kamala Harris. So of course, she don't look out for her sister girl. So this is where we're at. It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me. I don't believe it'll happen, but it would not surprise me if Kamala Harris becomes the next president of the United States. I don't believe it will happen, but I won't be surprised if it happened, if that makes sense. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Because they are tailor making this campaign for her. This presidency, her role to the presidency, they're tailor making it for her. She got the nod to be the presidential candidate without receiving a vote. That goes against the democratic process. Without receiving one vote, she's just automatically installed as a Democratic nominee already. She hasn't really done any interviews. She did one interview, and that was with her vice president, lying ass Tampon Tim. I call him lying ass Tampon Tim because he lied about his military record. His military career. He lied about that. So she had Tampon Tim there with her during her one interview on CNN a couple of weeks back. She hasn't said what her economic policies are. Well, I guess she did last night during the debate. How convenient. But she didn't say nothing about that shit before. She doesn't have a plan on the border crisis. She doesn't have a plan on for healthcare. She doesn't have a plan for these proxy wars that we're in, to end these proxy wars. She doesn't have a plan. I didn't hear her say anything about a plan, her policies. I mean, she said about a tax credit for families and everything, and something for small businesses. That's great. But how did she say anything about inflation? We have high interest rates, high inflation rates. Housing has gone up. The cost of housing has gone up. We're headed to a recession. Economists have said over and over again that after this election, we're going to be in a recession. I mentioned that we're in 4 proxy wars. We have this border crisis. You have violent criminals coming over here from Central, South America, and the Caribbean, committing crimes, and the media is not saying anything about it. Case in point, In Indianapolis earlier this week, immigrant Uber driver, I believe he was from either Central, probably from Central South America, has Hispanic descent, murdered a black lady. He shot and killed her, and that's not the worst of it. After shooting and killing his black passenger, was a black woman who was a black woman, he had sex with her corpse. Y'all heard me. This nasty ass piece of shit terrorist who worked for Uber, who was an Uber driver, there in Indianapolis, Indiana, murdered this black woman, shot and killed her, and afterwards had sex with her dead corpse. Go on Indianapolis, go on Fox 59 in Indianapolis. Just type in Uber driver and it should come up. I mentioned what the illegal Haitian immigrants were doing in Springfield, Ohio, with the animals, with people's pets. Also, we saw what happened with Tariq Hill just on Sunday morning. 4 Hispanic officers pulled him over, drug him out of his car, and slammed him to the ground and handcuffed him. I'm telling you, what we're seeing here is just the tip of the iceberg. That's right. If he had done it to a white girl, we would have never heard the end of it. Oh yeah, it would have been. They would have spoke about it last night. They would have talked about it at last night's debate, brother. You better believe it. We never would have heard the end of it. You're absolutely right about that. It would have been national news. But because it was a black woman, oh well, you have to dig and research. And shout out to brother Tariq Nasheed. I don't agree with him on everything, but a great majority of things I do agree with him on. At least 90%, 85 to 90% of stuff I agree with him on. And shout out to him for posting that on X about this sister in Indianapolis, because I never would have known about it had it not been for him. So shout out to him. The media's not reporting it. So, but these things are going on. The media definitely are not reporting on about what's going on in Springfield, Ohio, with the ducks and the other animals that's being just killed and eaten by Haitian immigrants. This is not made up. They actually had a town hall meeting about this in Springfield, Ohio, just last month. Just research it. Don't take my word for it. Research it. I never would have known that had one of my homeboys in Detroit told me, man, it sounds funny, but it's actually true. And this brother, one of my homies back in Detroit, you know, he's solid. He's a solid brother. So I said, well, let me do the research on this. And I'll be damned, did I not find video after video after video about this very thing. But meanwhile, people want to crack jokes, saying it's a lie, whatever, but they don't want to do the damn research. We live in the age of technology, of AI and all this other stuff that's going on around us. For people to be willfully dumb and ignorant is inexcusable. When you have phones now, you have phones. I have this computer here where I'm doing this video. The information is out there. There is no excuse to be willfully dumb and ignorant. None whatsoever. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications of when I do videos on here. No excuse. None. Oh, Trump also mentioned the withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan. Kamala Harris never mentioned that. Trump mentioned the soldiers who were murdered in Afghanistan, how we left billions of dollars of equipment to Afghan refugees, to Afghan, the people we were fighting, the Taliban. We left all this equipment over there, and they were on TV just parading it around. Tanks, missile launchers, guns, all type of weapons. He mentioned that. I believe that withdrawal from Afghanistan was under the Biden administration, August 2021. Am I right? Or am I absolutely right? Yeah, August 2021. The last 2.5 years, I looked this up. So from 2020 to 2022, 2 years, gas went up $2.73 on a national average. National average for gas in 2 years, from 2020 through 2022, the national average for gas went up $2.73. 2020, we know Trump, that was Trump's last year in office. That was when the world shut down, the country shut down because of the pandemic. So we couldn't go anywhere. Trump did not tell the country to shut down. That was local governments that were doing that. State governments. California did that. New York State did that. Massachusetts did that. Connecticut, Virginia. That was state governments telling their people they had to stay in place. That was them telling them that. That wasn't the president. That was not from the executive level. That was on the state level. Now the federal government did take it over. Did take it to another level and tell people that you couldn't board planes. They did tell people that you needed, you need to wear your surgical mask to get on planes. That was the federal government, more so the FCC. That wasn't Trump or his administration. So let's get that lie out your head if you're thinking that. But 2020, people wasn't going anywhere. People were working from home. So gas prices were down. They were down. There were the national price for gas, the national average price for gas in 2020 was $2.17. That was in 2020. Fast forward 2 years, 2022. Everybody went back to work. Everything returned back to normal, so to speak. The national average of gas, y'all waiting for this? Buckle up for this now. $4.90. That was the national average of gas in 2022. $4.90. I just said in 2020, the national average for gas was $2.17. It shot up to $4.90, the national average in 2022. That's a $2.73 increase. Do the math. And that was under Joe Biden, if I'm not mistaken. He was president in 2022, right? Am I right? Russia and Ukraine went to war in 2022. Am I right? What else? We amped up our strikes on Yemen and Syria around this time too, right? Right? Okay. Israel and Hamas went to war October of last year, almost a year ago, 2023, when Joe Biden was president. Am I right? The price of gas has gone up more, and the price of food, inflation costs are higher now. Interest rates are higher now within that time, right? From 2022 to now. Am I right? And who's in the office? Biden Harris administration. Am I right? Okay. The migrant crisis. Did we have a issue with migrants coming over here when Donald Trump was president? Or has it been over the last 2 years that migrants are coming over here by the thousands? Two New York, I said this yesterday in my video, two NYPD officers were not killed, they were shot and injured in New York earlier this year by two Venezuelan gang members. That was under whose administration? What's going on in Aurora, Colorado with Venezuelan gang members, terrorist squads taking over apartment complexes? That's under whose administration? What's going on in Chicago with the migrant crisis there? Chicago is about to be they're in a deficit. Don't be surprised if they declare for bankruptcy here within the next year. That's under whose administration? All this stuff that I just mentioned, the economy, the border crisis, the proxy wars, that all the stuff has been going on under what administration? And correct me if I'm wrong, Kamala Harris did not say anything about her plan, what plan she has in place to rectify these situations, what her solutions are. Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't hear her say that last night. Maybe I'm almost 50 years old, so my hearing is not, and I now worked on a flight line when I was in the Air Force. So my hearing kind of is, comes and goes. Not really comes and goes, but it's not as great as it was when I was younger. So, but I still have a good memory. My hearing is good enough. Her plan is on her website now. Well, yeah, how convenient. How convenient. But guess what? That wasn't on her website a few days ago, but now it is. Right after the debate. How Swayze. How convenient. How convenient. Wow. And yes, it is a load of bullshit. I agree. Wow. Interesting. But yeah, so all the stuff that's going on, and Trump told her, again, like I said a few minutes ago, I'm glad he ended the debate, that he had the closing statements, because he told her, you're in the White House now. Why don't you go fix it? You didn't do it for 3.5 years. You have time to fix it now. You could go down to the White House. He said this. I'm paraphrasing. He said you could go to Washington, go to that White House, go to Congress, and fix this. U.S. has been accepting migrant. Exactly. 2022. That goes to my point. And who was president in 2022? Who was vice president? The border czar. That should be a better question. Who was the so-called border czar, vice president in 2022? I rest my case. The proof is in the pudding. You don't have to like Trump. You don't have to support him. You don't have to vote for him. But the facts are the facts. The truth is the truth. It's out there, y'all. Am I voting for Trump? No. Am I a Trump supporter? No. I've been accused of being such, but you know what? That's it's silly, but I'm not, because I haven't told anyone to vote for Donald Trump. I haven't told anyone to vote for Kamala Harris either. I said, do what's best for you and your family. Do what's best for you. If you feel that Kamala Harris is the best candidate for you, you feel it's a woman's time to be in office, and you think that there needs to be change, then by all means, vote for her. If you agree with Trump's policies, you want him back in office, you agree with him on the economy and other things, vote for Trump by all means. If you're going to do what I'm doing and sitting on the couch and watching this shit show all unfold, you have that option as well. Y'all have options. Don't let these people tell you that you don't. You have options. Our ancestors did not die for us to have the right to vote, especially for some candidates who don't give a damn about us until, only time they care about us are doing every 4 years during the election. They don't give a damn about us after the elections are over. Our ancestors didn't die for that. They died for us to have the right to be free, to be free, to have freedom. That's what our ancestors risked their lives and died for us to have freedom, not to vote in these goofy ass elections. Again, your right to vote, that's your right as an American citizen, which is guaranteed under this document here. So, miss me that our ancestors voted for us to have a right to die. No, they did not. That is a lie from the pit of hell. That is a lie that's been regurgitated by white liberals to trick black people, and they're telling the other black people to tell us that. They tricked them to tell us that. Well, you go ahead and y'all tell the niggers, in order y'all ancestors died for y'all to have the right to vote now. Y'all go take y'all booties to the polls. Y'all go take y'all vote now. Vote like a black woman. Y'all go vote now. Y'all should go vote now. They did not. Stop it. That's ridiculous. Again, our ancestors voted for us to have freedom. They voted for us to be free, to have freedom. And voting in these elections do not guarantee us freedom. It never has, it never will. So, but again, I give Trump a B. The debate was 3 versus 1. Kamala Harris, David Muir, Lindsey Davis. It just was. Trump gave her a taste of her own medicine. Excuse me, I'm talking now. Does that sound familiar? So, and you could view the debate. It's on YouTube, and you can view it, without the. It's different when you view it online than it is viewing it on the on TV, because you don't get the whole rhetoric from the reports, to the reporters, from political analysts, so to speak. So you avoid all that if you watch it online the second time around. So if you haven't watched it, I urge you to watch it. And you can see what I'm saying. You don't have to take my word for it. You can see it's all there. And that thing with the animals in Springfield, Ohio, that is just bizarre. That is bizarre. And this is not from me. It wasn't from Trump. Trump was reporting things that he heard from the residents in this town. The residents in Springfield, Ohio. I'm sorry, Springfield, Ohio. Yeah, Springfield, Ohio, which is JD Vance's home state. So he got this information from JD Vance, his running mate, from residents. They did a town hall about this just last month. I wouldn't dare make this up. They did a town hall about it just last month, and they detailed how these illegal Haitian migrants were driving on the wrong side of the street, um, being rude toward people in the supermarkets, being rude to the residents there, chopping the heads off ducks and eating them. Someone's cat was murdered, was killed and ate and eaten. Other animals. So come on, come on. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications of when I do videos on here. Donald Trump mentioned that today, or that this morning, he was going to the 9/11 memorial because today is the 23rd anniversary. Today is the 23rd anniversary of the government orchestrated attack on the World Trade Center. I say government orchestrated attack on the World Trade Center. This government killed over 3,000 people on that very day in New York at the Trade Center, Washington at the Pentagon, and in that field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Those three places: the World Trade Center in New York City, the Pentagon in D.C., and that field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Over 3,000 people died on that fateful day. Government orchestrated. We come to find, there's been so many lies told about 9/11. There's still stuff coming out about it, and there will be for years to come. That was government orchestrated. Why do I say it was government orchestrated? Because George W. Bush, the son of George Herbert Walker Bush, earlier that year, he stole the election. He did. Al Gore won that election. Al Gore won that election. So he gets into office. First thing he does, he has only been in office, what? January, 8 months. He was in office 8 months. He took the inauguration, took the White House, 8 months before 9/11. 8 months before. Next thing you know, we go into Afghanistan to find Osama bin Laden. A year and a half later, we're at war. We're invading Baghdad. We're bombing Baghdad. We declare war on. No, we didn't declare war. We're at war with Iraq. It never got the approval of Congress. Never, ever, ever got the approval of Congress. Neither did Afghanistan. But we go to war. We 9/11. We at war with Afghanistan to try to kill bin Laden. Year and a half, March 2003, we bombed Baghdad. We at war with Iraq. So, in a span of 18 months or a year and a half, we're fighting two wars that last for damn near 20 years. Well, one did last for 20 years. We started, we're getting a war that we're in for 20 years. 20 years. 20. Longer than Vietnam. This is the longest war we've been in the history of this country. The longest war. I hate that vacuum cleaner. It sounds like someone said a while long ago that sounds like a jet plane. It does. It sounds like a jet plane landing. God, that thing is loud. So forgive me if I was shouting. I had to kind of project over that. But where was I at? So yeah, so the longest war that we've been in was the Afghanistan war. 20 years. How long were we in Iraq? I can't remember how long we were in Iraq. I don't believe it was 20 years. Maybe how long were we in Iraq? 10 years, 11 years? I can't remember how long we were in Iraq. But we're over there long. I think we were in Iraq longer than Vietnam too, if I'm not mistaken. But two wars, it killed our economy. Killed it. Killed it. So under the Trump administration, oh, who was president during the continuation of the Afghan war and Iraqi war? Who was president during these wars continuation? President Barack Obama. Bush started it, Obama continued it. So, and the Republicans are the war hawks. I mean, they are too, but the Democrats really are. Oh, oh, what happened in the spring of 2011? This just came to my mind. What happened in the spring of 2011? The Arab Summer. Y'all remember that? I'm sorry. The Arab Spring. The Arab Spring. Spring of 2011. What event occurred during that time? Benghazi. Benghazi. Who was president? Who was the Secretary of State? Hillary Clinton. Benghazi. Were what, 4 or 5 Americans were killed, including an American lawmaker. I'm sorry, American not law American. I think it was a consulate. Yeah, and 4 or 5 U.S. soldiers. They invaded Libya, killed. I'm sorry, murdered Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, and now Libya is a slave colony. It's an economic depleted slave colony, the country of Libya. Libya was the richest country on the African continent, one of the richest countries in the world. Libya was a modern day Wakanda. And they killed brother Muammar Gaddafi because he told the United States, fuck you, Great Britain, fuck you, France, fuck you, European Union, fuck all y'all. I don't need you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to unite my fellow brethren here in Africa, and we're going to start our own currency. We're going to be on one currency, kind of like how y'all are in Europe with the euro. We're going to be on our own currency in Africa. That was a threat to Europe, especially because a lot of them have their hands still tied in African countries. That would have killed their euro. That would have killed the euro. If Africa would have been under its own currency, that would have killed the euro and killed the US dollar. That's why they had to take that man out. Another reason, Libya is a mineral rich country, oil and gold. That's right, oil and gold. What does the US have a fiending for? Oil and gold too, to share among her co-conspirators. So that's why they took that man out. He was a threat, an economic threat, but he wasn't a terrorist. So stop it with that lie. Stop listening to the most effective devil in America because they lie. That's all these MFers do. They lie. And people go with it and run with it. when you could just, like I said, we live in the day of technology. There is no excuse to be willfully dumb and ignorant. We have these phones now. There's no excuse, none. But that's why they took that man out. And the currency was actually backed by tangible resources. That's right, it sure was. And yes, Obama did do that. But he allowed Hillary Clinton to bully him into killing brother Muammar Gaddafi. Because she said, we came, we saw, we killed, and was laughing about it. Or we came, we saw, we killed them, whatever she said. So that's why they took that man out. Obama also did more bombing missions in Africa, Somalia. So there it is. There it is. And Trump said something last night that was very profound. He said, when I was in office, our enemies were afraid of us. Do y'all really think our enemies are going to be afraid of Kamala Harris, the lady who doesn't want to do interviews by herself? Everything is being tailor made for her. Do y'all think Xi Jinping in China fears Kamala Harris? Do you think Vladimir Putin in Russia fears Kamala Harris? Um, what's in North Korea? What's his name? Kim Jong Un. You think he fears Kamala Harris? Durante, I think that's his name, in the Philippines. You think he fears Kamala Harris? They want her in office. Of course, and Trump mentioned that last night. He said Putin um, supports Kamala Harris. Of course he does, because she's weak. She's weak. People don't realize we're close to nuclear war with Russia because we're aiding their enemy with weapons to destroy them. So Putin's like, yeah, let her become president. Let her continue to give weapons to Zelensky. Let her become president. I'm gonna push that button. Let her become president. That's why he's supporting her. People are so narrow-minded. Again, they don't connect the dots. They don't connect the dots. They don't see the game that's being played. They playing Connect Four while we playing chess. Not checkers. They're playing Connect Four while we playing chess. Y'all remember Connect Four back in the day? Those are old enough to remember. But that's what they playing. Or tic tac toe on paper. We out here playing chess. So stop listening to the most effective devil in America. Of course, with the debate being on ABC, a liberally based network, they're biased, they're not unbiased. They lean toward the left a lot. David Muir, Lindsay Davis, they lean toward the left. So of course they were gonna hook up Kamala Harris. It was 3 versus 1. So of course people say that she won a debate. Of course they say that. And she did bait Trump. I will give her credit for that. She did bait him. But again, she did not, to me, she did not convince the American people why she should be president. She just didn't. All the baiting that she did, all the help she got from the moderators, She did not convince the American people why she should be president. In my view, I'm gonna end on that. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when I do videos on here. Share this video, share it, share it, share it. Let's have the conversation, make it go viral. Share this video. We don't have to agree, but let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable, especially on topics such as this. In our disagreements, let's use logic and respect, not emotion and disrespect. That's all I ask. Support my YouTube channel here. Support my podcast. It'd be greatly appreciated. So please support those two things. Please support them. Be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Support your brother because I need it, and I love y'all, brothers and sisters. Y'all be safe out here. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So beware and be aware. Whether you're going to work, coming home from work, dropping your kids off at school, picking them up, running errands, whatever the case may be, please be safe. Beware and be aware. I love y'all. Take care, and I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum.